All right, Coach Julie here. I am so excited for the launch of the Empowered Female Athlete. This book has really brought together my years and decades of experience, not just as a coach or a trainer or a performance professional, but as an athlete, starting from the age of 7 all the way up through playing collegiately. I wish I knew some of the things I put in this book, right? It's like the old saying goes, if I knew then what I know now, well, I believe that we can empower and equip our female athletes at a much higher level. And this is a starting place to do that. This is a playbook. This is a guidebook. This is something that your athlete, if she's around the age of 12 and up, can really keep as a resource for her life. So I want to make sure in all the books that I write and all the resources that I provide, that it provides a solution and that it is right for you and your athlete, whether you're a coach, whether you're a parent assessing if this is something you want to invest in for your athlete. I think, especially as parents, being one, being able to vet and see what is actually in the resource before I invest in it is really important. So I want to be able to share that with you. So I'm going to walk you through what to expect in this book. I cover 103 different things, and I'm going to walk you through and let you see what those things are so you can decide if this is a great resource for you or your team. We have coaches who are purchasing this as team gifts, as a team resource, that the coach also purchases one so that they can see what the girls are reading, what they're going through, and be able to reference it. It's a very handy resource for a coach to be able to say, hey, go to number 15 and start working on that, or dig in there and see, what you learn or where you land on that. Okay, so let's move to it. So the Empowered Female Athlete, I'm just going to walk you through here real quick, as quickly as I can, while not skipping over the important parts. So chapter 1 is all about mental strength and agility. So we're going to overcome some of that inner critic stuff, some of the inner work, a lot of the stuff that we don't see as coaches and even as parents until maybe it's too late, or maybe it's to the point of our athletes are burnt out, or maybe they are just acting differently and we're like, what, where is this coming from? We want to be proactive in this. And I believe these 10 things I give you in this chapter will absolutely set your daughter up or your athlete up for success with their inner work. Obviously, this is not a replacement for counseling therapies, mental health work. I highly recommend sports psychologists. We have one at Beyond the Game Alliance that we consult with to support our athletes. I highly recommend that if your athlete needs professional help, this is not to replace that. This is really proactive and giving them the tools and strategies to flip the script, to be agile in their minds, to shift and to stay focused. Okay. Next, chapter 2, physical strength and conditioning for the female athlete. This has been my jam for many years. I started my first business when I was 24, training athletes. I still work with the International Youth Conditioning and Coaching Association, the IYCA, because this mission is so near and dear to my heart. We are missing the mark when it comes to building and bridging the foundation for our athletes, especially our females. There's so much that goes into this, and she needs to equip herself too, so she can advocate for herself. So the physical strength and conditioning, we talk about the mind-body connection, the overlooked secrets to performance, strength training for female athletes, how it comes in and how it plays. I give in this chapter, we talk about just injury prevention. Female athletes are more prone to injury, and we bring some light and shine the light on that. I also give some tools. So I give your girls some workout, warm-ups, proper warm-ups, Tabata exercises, core routines for female athletes, things to avoid, as well as plyometric circuits for power development, and examples of a weekly recovery plan for your female athlete, because rest is sometimes best. Chapter 3, we go into nutrition for peak performance. Again, touching the surface on all of these. We do have a registered sport dietitian with my alliance as well, because of the importance of sport nutrition and how often it is overlooked from our athletes, specifically our females. So I talk about in this some things that they've heard before, but we talk about disordered eating, not an eating disorder, but disordered eating, and kind of the culture that can develop as a result of being female athletes. We talk about how to avoid the diet culture trap, supplementation, also just the power of the pots. Chapter 4 goes into holistic health and well-being. I talk a little bit about multi-sport specialization versus just single sport specialization, how to protect your well-being, how athletes, female athletes specifically, have hormonal fluctuations, how that impacts us as athletes, how it makes us in certain times of our cycles respond differently, not just emotionally, but physically, more prone to injury in certain times of our cycle. So that one is really important. I think most athletes don't even realize the impact, let alone the coaches that are coaching them. We talk about sleep, mental wellness, physical wellness. I go into functional medicine versus just traditional medicines, and then self-advocating as an athlete. So really just bringing some cohesiveness to that well-roundedness of your athletes. Then in chapter 5, we talk about core skills for success, not just in your game, but beyond the game. So you can see this chapter is quite lengthy, and we cover everything from gratitude to emotional intelligence, accountability, how to show up when you don't want to, the importance of nonverbal communication skills. Love that chapter. Because I know those have implications for a definite later in life, career, whatever's next for your athlete. Chapter 6 is she's going to develop a personal blueprint for success. So this is where we dig into her personal strengths and talents. I teach a concept called zone of purpose. I don't believe we find our purpose. There is a zone that we operate in, and when we find it, we feel it. And I talk to her about how to do that. Core values, unlocking her vision, minding her mission, setting goals the right way. I think as athletes, we often, I don't think we actually set SMART goals. Even using the SMART goal framework is not that smart. So I go into a smarter way to set goals for athletes. So that they're not playing small. Time management, I believe it's a lie. I talk to them about prioritization skills and the rhythm of success. Chapter 7, I go into teamwork, leadership, and sportsmanship, how to handle conflict, how to give and receive feedback. This is a big gap I see with student athletes that I work with. How to support their teammates emotionally, both in the game and beyond the game. Cultivating the team culture when we're not focusing on culture is still developing. So I talk a little bit about their role in that, and their leadership skills and what sportsmanship really is, as well as how to build relationships with opponents. Chapter 8, we go into just what to expect from coaches at every level, understanding different coaching styles and how to adapt as an athlete. Hey, look, at some point in the game, your daughter is either, being coached, playing with the coach's daughter, or she is the coach's daughter. And sometimes this can cause some confusion, maybe some elements of, unfairness. And I address those head on in number 68. We talk about advocating for yourself with coaches, how to set boundaries with both parents, whether that's like their parental unit or other parents and coaches, handling unfair situations, asking for more playing time respectfully. This is something that I think is really important skill for our female athletes to learn. And then recognizing when it's time to maybe change teams. I would, I have my thoughts around this, but over the last several decades, really have found some qualifiers, like some things to consider. Okay. Then we talk about sports IQ and strategy, becoming a student of your sport, understanding your different learning styles. We go deep on adapting to changing game scenarios, learning from losses and mistakes. And then chapter 10, we talk about the balancing act, because let's be honest, our athletes are working a full-time job, juggling school, relationships, family, sport, practice. And I talk about mastering priority management. We go deeper on some of those skill sets so that they can really find an ebb and flow and balance in their life. I tackle procrastination, perfectionism, how to prevent burnout, when to say no, teaching our athletes to advocate and say no. I mean, even as adults, we struggle, many of us, especially female athletes and even adults, we struggle with saying no. I talk about my solid 6 habits of high performers, which are integral to install prior to them moving on into career. Sports is a great practicing channel for them. I talk about how to install new habits, a framework for decision-making, and deciding what's next for them, deciding if they want to play college sport, the college recruitment process, and I touch a little bit on NIL as well. Chapter 11 wraps up the book for our female athletes, preparing them for life after sports, how to build a strong personal brand, how to create a winning resume, networking life beyond sports, exploring careers beyond sports. I have a list of different careers, the schooling they require, and so many of our female athletes who continue to play after the high school level do tend to pursue sports-related careers or want to stay involved in the game in some shape or form. So I talk about we do go into a little bit of financial independence, kind of financial planning and literacy 101, and then how to give back to athletics and stay connected. So that is really what you're looking at in this book. And it is loaded, as you can see, 103 things. So I did not hold back, and I don't want your athletes to hold back. So my hope is that after seeing what is in this book, that you feel compelled to share this with them, to support them in this way. They may not read the whole book from front to back, and that is okay. They may pick it up if they're struggling with decision making and go to number 92 and make a decision, right? They may find themselves feeling burnt out, and they go to number 88 and take a look at it. This is a comprehensive guide for them, and it's my heart and soul poured into a book. So I hope you enjoy. And if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you have things that you feel are missing, or feedback, or things that your athlete is struggling with that I haven't addressed in this book, let's start that conversation. Right? Thanks for watching.